Fuck it, we'll make it a movie review. Shadows of Imagination, Shannon and Haley. This is like take 36. I don't fucking know.
We've done this like 4 times already. We can't make up our mind.
We can't just not talk about random shit. Today we watched Bohemian Rhapsody.
Last week it was Bird Box, which we've already done a review on that.
Today's Bohemian Rhapsody, and if I can talk her into it, we'll do a movie review in a little bit of fucking Purpose.
A Dog's Purpose is what he wants to watch. I'm not in the mood to cry at this moment, so.
She's gonna end up caving and watching it because I'm fucking spoiled. Yeah.
You're spoiled.
Anyway,
okay, don't let him fool you. I'm the spoiled one. He's just here. No, I'm kidding.
Because her parents.
I'm kidding.
Her parents spoiled her. Anyway,
my parents do not spoil me.
That's enough. That's enough random stuff. We're doing a movie review.
He's lying.
We're doing a movie review over. No, I'm not. If they see this video
okay,
on Facebook,
you can take over this one because I did the Bird Box one, and this is on you. I don't care. I'm not doing everything.
We watched a movie about Freddie Mercury, and it was good. The end.
Okay, so.
Do you forget?
We are doing movie reviews together, which means you have to contribute a little information. I'm not doing everything.
I just gave a little information. It was called Bohemian Rhapsody.
Really? I think everybody knows that it's about Freddie Mercury. Fine. I want your opinion on said film.
You know how when they made the movie Man on the Moon about Andy Kaufman and he started getting sick and everything, they followed him through his entire sickness. They inaccurately portrayed when Freddie got sick. Just to add stage value or whatever.
It's supposed to add drama to the movie.
I thought that
I think it was very well placed for...
It would have made it sadder. It would have made it a little longer. They ended it with Live Aid, which was really cool. And it was an amazing movie. But I think that if they would have added him all the way through his sickness, it would have had a little more dramatic effect. It would have made people notice a lot more. I'm not saying it didn't in any way, but they should have, like they did the Andy Kaufman movie, they should have followed him all the way to his memorial service. That's my opinion. It's what I would have liked to have seen, because nobody was part of that world. It would have been a lot better if they would have followed him all the way through his sickness, all the way to the end. A lot of Queen fans out there would know. And it also portrayed him as, before you watch the movie, you see Freddie Mercury as this god. Not a lot of people knew that he treated his band a certain way. Wouldn't necessarily say bad, but the fame got the better of him there for a minute.
Well, and he was doing drugs, and
but he never once.
He was high at an interview and a Q&A thing, and he just went nuts. Like he just.
Not once.
Got upset because there were so many people trying to talk to him at once, and they weren't talking about the music. They were talking about his personal life, and it just became overwhelming.
Maybe once did he tell them that y'all will do what I want you to do. This is going to go the direction I want it to go. But I think it was only one time that he did it, or two in the movie. I don't know how many times it happened in real life. But he was either on drugs, or he was really angry, or he wasn't in his right frame of mind when he said it. So, I don't think Freddie was in his right frame of mind when he said those things. I think that he always thought that Queen was Queen because of him and everybody else. Because they said, you're the leader of Queen. He said, no, I'm just the lead singer. That's it. We're Queen. The whole band is Queen. I can't wait until they do a Kurt Cobain biopic. I just hope they don't get Robert fucking Pattinson to play.
I didn't like how they added a character that wasn't actually real.
To be fair, it was Mike Myers, so it was fine. But
the guy that played Austin Powers played this guy, the record executive that didn't want to produce Bohemian Rhapsody because it was too long. And they basically is like, well, if you don't want to produce this song, we don't want you as our manager. So they walk out, and then all of a sudden there's a brick thrown through his office window. And right before they leave the office, they say, if you don't, this one of your biggest regrets is letting go of Queen.
You're going to be the man, you're going to be forever known as the man who let Queen walk out the door.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And at the end of the film, yeah. That is exactly what happened. The guy was pissed. One character I did not like was Paul. He's like the Charles Lee of movies.
If you don't know who Charles Lee is,
play Assassin's Creed 3.
We'll actually have her go do a game review, and once we figure out how to stream stuff, we'll make a gaming channel for Shadows of Imagination, or we'll just do it here, whatever y'all think we should do. And she can do a streaming of Assassin's Creed all the way through to Odyssey. Because you want her to play the games. It'll be more entertaining if she's the one playing the games. Trust me.
Like,
anyway,
the guy that plays Littlefinger in Game of Thrones is in this movie, and he's their manager. And they're driving through the city in the limousine. Well, apparently Paul had convinced their manager to talk Freddie into leaving Queen altogether and going solo for a couple years and releasing his own album. Well, turns out that Paul had asked this guy to do this. He didn't want to. But Freddie didn't know this. Freddie thought it was his manager's own personal idea to do that. It wasn't. Paul basically made him do this. And Freddie didn't realize that, and he ended up firing the manager, who quite literally didn't do anything wrong. Right?
Yeah.
So
he's done nothing but supporting his whole career.
He basically blackmailed the manager into doing what he asked him to. So not only did Paul get Freddie to go solo for a couple of years, he managed to get Freddie away from everybody. Away from Mary Austin. Like, she would call wanting to talk to him, and I'll give him the message, and he never did. He found out about the Live Aid concert. Didn't tell Freddie about it. Oh, I told you, you must have forgot. No, you didn't. You didn't say anything to me about it. I didn't find out about it until Mary showed up. Nobody knew that. Paul did, but he didn't say anything.
And it almost cost Freddie his position at Live Aid.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen Freddie Mercury live at Live Aid, you'll know that would have been a catastrophic mistake. Live Aid would have made zero money other than tickets.
They were the first band to be offered a spot at Live Aid. They were also the last band to actually get a spot at Live Aid.
And nobody was there for any of the other bands, I don't think.
They were only there because Queen was there. Now, they had big names. They had Bob Dylan. They had Led Zeppelin. They had to have had at least 100 different bands at Live Aid. It was a 4-day thing. And they had raised no money for the Live Aid performances until Freddie Mercury stepped on stage. Within the first set, they had made over $1 million. Almost 1.5 million in just the first set of songs. And it was all because of Freddie Mercury. But that's literally how it ended. He was on stage at Live Aid. He had just introduced Jim Hutton to his father as his partner. And then right before the Live Aid concert, he told his band that he had AIDS. The only problem with that is, in real life, it wasn't until after the Live Aid performance that he even found out he was sick. So the timeline was a little off. But I like the way they ended the movie.
They made the timeline go. They made the timeline
reversed
so they could throw Live Aid in there. They wanted to end the movie with Live Aid.
They were practicing the music they were going to do, and Freddie stopped everything. He's like, look, I'm sick. I'm dying. I have AIDS. Right before the Live Aid concert began. So they all knew about it before the Live Aid concert. But in reality, nobody knew that he was even sick until after Live Aid in 1985. So their timeline was off. They flipped it. So instead of telling them after and finding out after Live Aid, he found out before. Which, I know why they did that. They wanted dramatic effect. They wanted the very last thing in the movie to be the Live Aid performance. I like how they ended the movie. What I don't like about the end of the movie is the factoids they gave you about Freddie Mercury. How he died. We all know he died. We want to know about his life, where he came from, you know. They didn't really go in depth with that.
Instead of following it all the way through to his death, they gave you little small facts like his death didn't fucking matter. Like, it was one of the most impactful deaths on the fucking planet. They could have followed it. They could have followed it all the way to the end. They could have made Bohemian Rhapsody like a 4-hour movie and followed his entire life, made it historically accurate, but they chose not to. That's the only thing about the movie that bothered me. Is they didn't.
Adding characters that didn't really exist bothered me. Like Mike Myers' character. I love the guy that plays Austin Powers just like everybody else, but his character wasn't real. He never existed.
To be fair, I think it was a way to get him back in the movie scene.
I think so. He's been gone since, God, the fucking third Austin Powers movie, Goldmember.
Yeah. But
I don't think he's Shrek. Shrek was after Austin Powers.
But
he hasn't done much, and he's in another movie this year, too.
But we're going to sit here until we get bored or tired, and we're going to do more of these.
That's 327. So, we're probably going to do a couple more, and then we'll do a few more tomorrow.
If I had to rate Bohemian Rhapsody, I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it was
I really liked it.
It was really good. I just didn't like that.
Besides the character being added that wasn't real, and the timeline being off, the rest of it was pretty damn good.
Also, they could have added a lot more of him growing up when they do these biopics and stuff.
Like
they do it from the time, like Richie Valens, they did it from the time he was basically born all the way to whatever.
Like Freddie Mercury took boxing classes.
I think they did the same thing with Johnny Cash.
They reference it for a good 5 seconds throughout the whole movie.
I think they did the thing with Johnny Cash. I think they did the thing with I think they did the same thing with Andy Kaufman's. I know they did the same thing with Selena's.
I think the movie This Is It for Michael Jackson had more information about his childhood than this movie did.
Yeah.
And that movie was really good. There's another Michael Jackson movie that was on TV, and it had the guy from Walking Dead in it. That one was really good, too.
We have to stop.
No, wait. Gotta end the video first before we do that. So, 9.5 out of 10 for me. Rating.
About the same.
And about the same for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a really good movie. It was Emmy worthy, so.
I would definitely recommend it, and I would definitely watch it again.
In a minute, I'll do something really interesting.
Rami Malek, you were amazing as Freddie. Very good performance.
In a minute,
it was awesome.
In a minute, I'll do something.
Kudos to you, man.
In a minute, I'll do something really interesting, and we'll call it the Haley Challenge video. And the challenge is going to be her talking about a certain TV show without spoiling anything for you. So
you don't want me doing that.
If you like what you see,
you don't want me doing that.
If you like what you see, if you like what you see, like, subscribe, and hit the bell next to the subscribe button so that you can see when we upload something.
Have a good night.